Good morning, everybody. This is Lincoln Kenobi here, and today we have another article titled "Actor Clifton Duncan explains why actors feel justified in insulting their audiences. How woke entertainment destroys talented women and minority actors." Let's see what he's got to say about this. Actor Clifton Duncan lamented the woke era in entertainment and how it destroys talented women and minority actors, while also explaining the actors feel justified in insulting their audiences. In a post to X, responding to a Facebook post from Geek League of America, claiming that Daisy Riley, Amanda Steinberg, Kelly Marie Tran, Moses Ingram, and Jolie Turner Smith deserve apologies for how they are treated, Duncan stated. The legacy of the woke era in entertainment has been to sacrifice the careers and reputations of talented women and minorities by placing them in doomed projects that will inevitably draw their severe backlash. The diversity of these shows in the main selling point. When the audience rejects the show, they're then accused of hating diversity as opposed to wooden dialogue, bland cinematography, lackluster plotting, and definitely to source material, etc., he continued. Next, he wrote, the performers, the most visible aspect of the project, then have to swallow the pain of poor reception, a tarnished professional brand, and viral memes and YouTube videos trashing their work. Worse, their self-limiting worldview that they live in a oppressive society that loathes them and is heavily reinforced, which is which is a true tragedy. He added, 99% of the actors are hired hands trying to get all they can from a very stressful industry where their next job is never guaranteed. Even if you're at the top of the food chain, there will always be crazies in any fandom. The word fan is short for fanatic. No sane person condones abuse or harassment, and none of these performers deserve that. Duncan then declared, but I agree these artists do deserve apologies. They deserve apologies for being tokenized. They deserve apologies for being weaponized against fans. They deserve apologies for being used as shields against poor executive decisions. But most importantly, they deserve apologies from the blue guilty for being reduced to cannon fodder in a culture, he concluded. I will say this. I mean, look, Clifton needs to know this. Like, let's say for me, Daisy Riley and I forgot this actor's name, and Moses Ingram. I like how they performed their characters, but I don't like how their characters were treated. Their characters were treated poorly. But I don't hate the actresses. But Amanda Steinberg, I'm going to say, for example, I'm sorry to say it, bro, Amanda did not have no good acting skills. She did not have no good acting skills. She sucked at her job. She did the same facial for if she's either mad or she's sad or she's whatever. She didn't have no good facial expressions. That's one of the reasons why the show sucked. But it's just that when you have showrunners and directors that don't know how to use these characters right, it was bad. Like this one, for example, her character Rose, they were trying to target her to fall in love with Finn. But of course, in the Rise of Skywalker, they were separated. Like they could have given Rose the chance to go with Poe, Finn, and Rey on a mission, and she didn't want to do it. So I'm like, what are they doing? And then Moses Ingram, her character, they try to make her a badass. She didn't need to be a badass. She really didn't need, her character didn't really need to be a bitch most of the time. It, it's my opinion. So I'm not hating on the actresses. I just don't like how they were treated. There's a difference. So, you know, so in my term, the characters are not that great, but the actresses are good. Well, except for her, except for Amanda. I'm sorry. So, and plus, he needs to do his research that this woman attacked the fans. So, in his subsequent post, he explained why actors insult their fan bases. Today, many actors aren't performing for a general audience. They're vying for approval from their peers and from the minority of Americans who think like themselves. That's why they feel justified in insulting you. You are on the wrong side of history. What's astounding to me is that there seem to be no PR people smart enough to make them stop shitting on the consumers. Duncan's comments about minorities and women being placed in doomed projects echoes what Thomas Thoreau has repeatedly said about affirmative action in a discussion with Peter Robinson at the Hoover Institute. Sawyer explained that affirmative action put many black students with all the prerequisites for success into places where they were almost guaranteed to fail. He then referenced his own experience at Cornell as an example. I'll go all the way back to 1965 when I was teaching at Cornell. They suddenly brought in large numbers of black students under special programs, and in a relatively short time, half of them were on academic probation for academic deficiencies. And so I went over to administration building and looked up their scores, SAT scores. The average black student at Cornell at the time was at the 75th percentile. Sowell continued noting that those ACT scores were better than 3/4 of the other American students who took that SAT. However, he pointed out that the average student in the Cornell Liberal Arts College was at the 99th percentile, and so one of you have the students who simply do not graduate, and so there's no great gain from flunking out of an elite institution. He then declared that Cornell spent 4 years making failures out of them. From there, he explained how this was not unique to Cornell. Back when we had the ladder in the 20th century at Berkeley, they had black and Hispanic kids who were admitted there. They had test scores just slightly above the national average. The white students had test scores for above that, and the Asian students had it above the white students. And the great bulk of those black students, an absolute majority, failed to graduate. So they came on campus, wasted some years of their lives, some opportunities they may have had somewhere else. This actual data showed that the number of black students in the UC system barely changed at all. What happened was that they stopped going to Berkeley and UCLA. They went to the other campuses where their proficiency was like that of the other students. In the wake of that, over a 4-year period, there were 1,000 more minority students graduating from the system than there were under affirmative action, he stated. Look, I get what he's saying. I do get what he's saying. But he has to understand, dude, that some of these women and diverse people, they don't care about the story. They don't care about the fans. They'll mock the fans no matter what. But the problem is, there are actresses that try to perform the characters. They did very well, but it's just that it wasn't right of how they wanted them to perform, how they wanted to put their character. So, me, for instance, I am not mad at the actresses. except for Amanda Steinberg. But I'm just upset of what their characters do. That's the difference. So, but I get what he's saying, dude. So, you guys let me know in the comments, what do you think of this guy? What do you think of Clifton Duncan? Do you think he's saying what is true? Do you think he's right? Do you think he's wrong? Do you think he's misunderstood? You guys let me know in the comments below. So if you like the video, hit the like button, share this video, post a comment below, let me know what your thoughts are. And if you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button for me. Alright guys, catch y'all later. Bye for now.